I'm delighted to introduce our second speaker, Andre Dzikus. Please make him welcome.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure being here and coming all the way from Nairobi. It's just around lunchtime there now. So I'd actually like to start off with a little confession. It's not always easy to make these confessions in such a big audience. This confession is that I've got a little drinking problem. I had a consultation with my doctor, and my doctor told me I'm not really drinking enough. I should be drinking 2 liters of clean water a day. And in Nairobi, a city where we have intermittent supply and I get water once a week to my house, I can't just open the tap and drink the water. I have to filter it and boil it before I can do it, so it's quite a hassle. So I have to really catch up in drinking more water of 2 liters a day. Now, Nairobi is the world headquarters of UN Habitat, which is the United Nations agency mandated by the General Assembly in dealing with human settlements and improving the living conditions of the poorest of the poor in urban areas, that is, the slum dwellers. So Nairobi is a very ideal duty station as a world headquarters for us, because it always reminds us of what we're there to do as UN staff members and civil servants to actually improve the living conditions. Because if we're not doing a good job, we might have a few people knocking at our offices and saying, hey, come and visit Kibera. If we have a look at this picture, we have a blue planet, and we can say that there are quite a number of people in this world saying water, water everywhere, but we don't have a single drop to drink. We live in a paradox world where on the one hand we've got abundance in water, we've got excess in water, which is the basis for life. But on the other hand, we've got the contrast of people living in arid areas, in deserts, who don't have enough water. And here we see some people in the Sudan areas walking towards a settlement. So we have this enormous contrast between abundance and scarcity of water. Climate change, of course, exacerbating the situation, providing more water in areas and reducing some of the precipitation in other areas where we've settled. Here we have a map prepared by our sister organization in Nairobi, United Nations Environment Programme, which shows us water scarcity in the world. And red and orange indicate the areas where we've got physical water scarcity. And we see parts of Australia, large parts of Africa, and the Middle East, and China and India, where we've got the highest concentration of populations experiencing water scarcity. If we look at this picture, which is the world at night, showing all the lights of our cities in the world, we see that it seems we as human beings have actually decided to settle in many of these water scarce areas. Was this really such a wise decision? And what are the implications for us? If, for instance, here in Australia you have increased droughts in the south, what is the implications for the cities? Do you have to relocate to areas which have more water availability in the north? What are the implications of the cities in India and China if they can't relocate? Here we have a map of the world showing the growth of urbanization from 1970, 2001, 2020. When 56% of the world's population will be living in cities. And as our executive director says, we have moved from being Homo erectus to Homo urbanus. We've taken on an urban lifestyle. Here we see a graph of the urban growth, and one of the phenomena we see is that many of the cities or many of the countries in the south with rapid urbanization haven't been able to keep up with the provision of infrastructure and services and also shelter for their residents. So more and more people are actually living in slums and squatter settlements or in peri-urban areas. At the moment, we have more than 1 billion people living in slums. Let me share a little bit the pictures and the experiences of slums.